Welcome everyone to Flyte's Contributors Meetup. Did anyone have any trouble issue logging in, joining session? Any problem?
The ones that are not here yet, probably.
I first had issues with Firefox, like it didn't work with Firefox for me, but with Chrome it did now.
Okay, got it. All of you join as guest, or anyone from you has a Linux Foundation account? No?
And now, like for now, with the guest account, but I create one for next time.
Yeah, it's absolutely not necessary to create one. Just curiosity. Thank you, Nikki. Cool. It's great to see new faces here joining. That's great. Right. Cool. So let's get started. Thank you. Great. Okay. So if it's the first time you join this meeting, thank you, Andrew. Welcome again. We run this meeting every 2 weeks, and this is the first time we try this alternating schedule. So today the meeting will happen at this time, but in 2 weeks it will be at the regular, well, I don't know, regular, the old time of 11 a.m. Pacific, and 2 weeks after that it will return back to this time. So uh, the goal is to see if this helps folks in other time zones to join and also have discussions. It's been almost a year since we started running the contributors meetup. It's not the community meeting. It's a different format, different goal. The community meeting is more kind of the users meeting, adopters meeting. And here we are more into a different stage in the process where you are all contributing, or trying to push the boundaries of the system, proposing new ideas, etc. So again, the idea is that asynchronous communication channels are the default channel for us, but also this space has proven to be useful for the last year. Cool. Let me share again here the link to the agenda, where it's an open document, so you're encouraged to add any discussion topic there. I think there's an open mic section right at the bottom. And yeah, feel free to add yourself to attend this list, including your affiliation if you want. So probably we all know each other from asynchronous communications, but if it's the first time you're joining this meeting, welcome. And do you want to briefly introduce yourself? It's your first time here.
Okay. Hi everyone. My name is Henry Chen. I'm fourth grade at and a college student, and I have contributed to Flyte for 8 months. Yes.
Yeah, you're a rock star. Welcome, Henry. What about you, Rafael? Welcome.
Hi. So yes, I'm Rafael. I'm in this team called DataX at Spotify, where we use Flyte quite heavily, and yeah, it's a pleasure to be here. Also, I'm an engineer on that team. Sorry, just
awesome. Yeah, thank you for joining. It's great to have you here. Let me add this down here. Sorry. Cool, and thank you especially to folks in Pacific time. I know it's pretty early. Thank you, Eduardo. It's really early in the morning for you, so cool. Cool. Great. So let's move to the next section, introducing new RFCs. I think there are a couple of items there in the board. Oh, it was already here. So the first one, I think, well, it's a work in progress, but I remember the last comment around this one, and I think Hanru is the author, was the need for an additional notification system at this time Flyte kit. So I don't know if this is still an idea you want to pursue, Hanru, or do you have any comment around this one?
So So Byron told me that LinkedIn wants to notify users when the code server is going to die, and so he want me to add a notifier in the Flyte interactive plugin. And but I think someone like Katen Katens told me that Katen left a comment in the pull request said that he think this can move into the Flyte's core, the directory. So here's why this RFC proposed. And after Kevin told me that uh, unions, I mean Flyte's maintainers don't think this notification system should put it into a Flyte. So maybe this RFC need to be closed. Yes. Okay, Fabio.
Yeah, okay. You said it would be closed. I think maybe my question is not necessary anymore. But what you're proposing in the RFC is a notifier that is purely on the Python side, right? It's not notification sent from Flyte admin. Am I understanding that correct?
Yes, and one of the reason Flyte's maintainers want to close it is because they don't want to make users confused. Like
I agree.
this notification system is all
Yeah.
implemented in Flyte. Yes, and we'll use Python module to send notification.
I think that I agree with that. I don't think there should be notification system purely in FlightKit. There has been work in summer from Kevin to extend the current notification system in a Flyte admin to be able to send notifications to webhooks, including Slack. And I tried to make that work before Christmas for a while. But in what needs to be done to finish this is to unify kind of the unify the way how the email notifications work with the with how the webhook notifications would work. And I think that's definitely worth finishing. We would love to use that. We haven't had the time to make it work ourselves, but this is very much something that's missing in my opinion. Yeah, we can do that. Yeah.
It's definitely also one of the things we are really interested in. We've built around it and we've our own like monitoring that is very hacky.
We have the same.
But it would be great to have this working.
Yeah, I can share maybe, I need to search where I have that, but I have a PR in FlyteIDL and FlightKit where I sent webhook notifications from FlightKit to the backend. And on the backend, I also had it working. It was a bit hacked together. It would need to be cleaned up. And more importantly, it would need to be unified with the normal notifications. But if we were able to pull that off, I think that would be pretty nice. And it would also solve this use case here. I can share that with you, Bernhard, and then we can see what we can do.
Thank you.
Okay.
Awesome. Yeah, that'll be great. I've been in the recent weeks struggling with notifications in GCP using SendGrid and pops up. So yeah, definitely webhooks will make our lives easier. Awesome.
We'll still need pops up for that.
Sorry?
You will still need pops up for that.
Yeah, I am. Yeah, but yeah, probably
But not SendGrid.
Not SendGrid. That's the reason some users have had to, even if they're running on GCP, they've had to use AWS SNS services to actually make it work. So yeah, that would be really helpful. Right. So it's okay to close this one in summary.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay.
Cool. Leave some comments there and send this one. Cool. Any other comment?
No.
Cool. So yeah, I think this one should be moved to close. I will move it right away. But in the meantime, yeah, a new RFC, this time from Rafael. So yeah, I don't know if you want to kind of introduce the idea here. If you want to share your screen, you're also welcome to. So.
Yeah, well, it's pretty much self-explanatory. So we need to have the ability to add execution time when launching an execution, regardless of which type, to be able to select what to what cluster it should go. Today we have the labels that we could potentially use, but since labels are at this project domain level, and in our case, a project can have a domain, such project can have a ton of workflows that we might want to dynamically send one workflow, one execution to, cluster A, cluster B, or cluster pool in this case. So yeah, here we're proposing to implement this cluster pool idea where not only we have the labels, but we also have pools of clusters where at execution time, we can select and send off the cluster, the execution to the cluster or to the Flyte propeller. That's basically it. It's quite simple, I think.
Right. Thank you. Fabio.
First of all, I think it's a great idea. Absolutely in favor of it. So definitely go. Just one question about implementation. I haven't fully understood it. We have labels for clusters and we set them on a domain project level, right? Wouldn't we be able to use the same label just specified when we create an execution? Like, do we need to introduce this new pool name? I haven't gotten this part, why we can't just reuse the same label and specify it at execution time.
As it is right now, you could, but let's say you have two workflows launching roughly at the same time, and you want to send one tag to cluster A and the other to cluster B, you will have to first set the label at that project domain, and you might have troubles.
Let me rephrase
Sure.
the question. I absolutely agree that we need to be able to not say that on the project domain level, but on the workflow level when we create the execution. My question is, can't we reuse the labels that we already have and pass them basically when we create an execution? Does it need a new label is my question.
Good question. I don't know. When we were investigating, we saw these cluster pool objects they're available to use, and there was some kind of implementation started. So we just piggybacked in that idea. Might simplify things if we just reuse the same label. I'll have to delve on the code and let you check back.
Yeah, I'm not familiar enough with the code to judge that. But I think it would be nice if we wouldn't have to configure the same cluster in two different places to target it with two different mechanisms. It would be nice if this thing had one name and the name would be set on the project domain level, or also when creating an execution, it would just be
for sure
a bit easier.
Completely
but other
agree.
than that, I think it's cool.
Yeah, completely agree. Like you can see the configuration itself, I'm not in love with it by any means. So yeah, I'll definitely take a look at that and let you folks know.
Thank you.
Awesome. Yeah, Bernard.
Yeah, I have a similar sentiment to Fabio. Great that I think this will be a great addition. I'm wondering how you would start this at Spotify. So do you usually use flight control and then -- cluster? Like I think you have an example at the very top of the RFC, or would you also see this in the UI so that a user can actually select on which cluster they want it to run?
In our case, yes, it will be just flytectl at execution. We don't go through the UI, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Cool. Great. Any other comment, question around this proposal? Great. So yeah, thank you, Rafael, again, closing this, and yeah, move it to the in review phase, and keep the conversation going there. Thank you. All right. Next up, working groups updates. Yeah, there's a question already there. Should we close out the config override working group? To whoever asked this question, I would say the answer is yes. I was checking the retirement process for working groups that we defined almost a year ago, And yeah, if there is no longer a lead or none of the communication channels have been used in at max 3 months as a grace period, the working group should be disbanded or retired. So really that's the case for the config overrides, unless there is any objection or someone wants to take the lead here. Any objection against retiring the config overrides working group? Okay, so I'll make sure that this happen. And yeah, I haven't forget that last time we proposed, or we kind of circulated the idea of creating a new working group around the plugin, kind of the plugin inventory. So I definitely need to put time to get this started. Yeah, thank you, Fabio. Yeah, it's not a bad reflection on the proposal itself. It's probably just a matter of resources. Cool. All right. Thank you. Cool. So let's move to the next item in the agenda. New ideas in the incubator. As far as I can tell, there are no new of them. And yeah, some of them kind of inactive, unless there's something else you'd like to comment around these ideas sitting here. Nope. Yeah, probably we will eventually need, I don't know, it's probably we cannot define a timing for these ideas. For example, how much time they can be open without activity. Ideas are there, it's an incubator. So if you want to kind of revisit some of these ideas, just feel free to leave a comment there. And eventually some of them will move to the RFCs. Cool. And community polls, yeah, I don't have much that could be shared here. There are some areas. I was in a conference last week, and I had a time to spend with some non-Flyte users, Airflow users specifically, and they found a couple of hiccups in the process. Yeah, even from stuff like not being able to use self-signed certificates with recent versions of PyFlyte. I was able to reproduce the issue, and it was a blocker for some of them. But yeah, I still need to flesh out a better way to collect this feedback in a way that is actionable. It's curated, let's say. So that's why I didn't add anything here this time, at least. Okay, so open my questions. Thank you, Bernard. First one, can we update the link at the top? Which one? This one?
Yeah, I think the when and the
Is-
Zoom bridge. I've just found the announcement in Slack, so I can also do it. It's fine. I just didn't know the.
Oh, yeah, thank you. We've been
Will do.
migrating not only this, but the community meeting, and also introducing the alternating schedule. So yeah, probably there are some rough corners. So yeah, thank you for noticing.
Okay, so we I think we use the same document every week, right? So if I just update it here, it's good.
Yeah, that's one
Okay.
of the things I had to manage with the Linux Foundation, how to make sure that even if the schedule or the time changes every 2 weeks, we use the same link. So we will use the same link. Right, thank you. And yeah, next up, good question. Will anyone be at KubeCon? Seems to be one of the largest open source conferences in Europe now. I mean, we will be close to 10,000 folks registered for the conference. So yeah, I think we will replicate the question on the Slack channel, but I don't know if anyone here besides Bernard who will be presenting. That's awesome. Anyone else plans to be at KubeCon? I'd like to. No? Cool. So yeah. So yeah, probably I'll replicate the question in Slack and see if there are some folks who will be attending. Probably we can organize something. Cool. All right. Any other comment, question, discussion, topic you'd like to address here? Okay. So with that, thank you again for joining. I know there have been quite a lot of changes in the public meeting, so it was great to see you all here. And yeah, hope to see you in the next one. Have a good day. Thank you.
Thank you.